Hi, welcome to lecture 25. In this lecture, we will continue our discussion about switch structure, and we will write a program which will get a grade from the user and displays a description accordingly. And remember that we will do it not using if-else structure. Instead, we will use the switch structure. So the very first thing we have to do is declare the character. Declare the data type character to variable grade, and the next step is to prompt the user. So what do we want to prompt? We want to prompt that enter the grade. Okay, whatever the user enters, store it in the variable grade, and then use switch structure. So for switch structure, we will be using switch. The variable is grade that we want to see, and then this is the structure. In the structure, we will be looking at different cases. The first case is A. It is possible that there are the student enters the small a instead of capital A. So after colon, I'll enter another case that is small a, because for both of these cases we want to generate one same kind of statement or statements. So I'll enter, and after enter I'll press tab for making the code beautiful. So after tab, I'll be writing the output and the statements that we want to execute if the case is capital A or the case is small a. So we want to print excellent. Perfect. Now this is one statement. One statement has been done. Now I'll come back again, and this is for the next statement. If case is B or case is small b, in both of these cases output the result to be very good. Okay, after that, for case C or case small c, because we don't know that the user might enter capital A, capital B, capital C, or small a, b, c, because C programming is case sensitive. So it differs from so it differentiates between capital A and small a. So we need to be very much careful. So output, because this is a good grade. Now this is now for the fourth case, we want case D and possibly small d, and both of the cases we want C out to be because this is not even good, this is just, I'll say, fair or poor actually. So okay, now lastly for case F and case F, so what do we want? We want to output fail. Okay, done. Okay, if none of these are the options, so we will ask for default value, and for default value the statement will be cout, and cout please enter grade from A to D or F. So this will be the message generated if the grade is neither A nor B nor C nor D nor F. So the default is this message, so it will show that the user is making a mistake by inputting some different letter, and the case is that he or she should, the user should enter the grade from A to D, or enter the F. Okay, perfect. I think so. We are done here, and now if we execute it and compile it, first of all, oh, what is it? This is C, and oh yes, this semicolon, we need to be very careful with that. Now it has been executed. Now I'm going to tell you this, some unusual behavior you're going to see now, and I'll be explaining this unusual behavior, but I hope so you have worked it yourself and you know what is this unusual behavior. If I have saved this program by the name of switch grades. So if I ask for switch grades, so it is asking me the grade, so enter the grade. If I enter the grade A, so it must print out only excellent, not other statements. Let's see what happens. So it is giving me excellent, and then all other statements below it. So now again, what if I ask for what if I enter the grade B? So it is giving me very good and all statements below it. So what if I enter the grade C? So the good one and all below it. What if I enter the D? So the poor one and all below it. The same goes for F, the poor one, the fail one and below it. And the same if I enter something not between A to D or F, let's say I, so it will give me please integrate from A to D or F, the default message. Okay, perfect. Our code is running perfectly alright. The only problem is that when some case is true, so it executes the statement and the message for that specific case and all the messages below it. This is how switch structure works. So what we need to do is, instead we need to break this whole structure after the execution of that statement of that specific case only. We don't want it to execute it further below down. So for that we can use break statement. Now if I use this break statement as a second statement for every case, so what will happen is, now if I execute it and compile it, so what will happen is switch grades. If I enter A, so it will execute these two statements, excellent and break. So the first statement is of course printing out excellent, but the second break statement is actually saying that get out of this switch structure. So this break is not specific to switch structure. It could be used in if-else structure, in for structure, or even in while structure or do-while structure. It is specifically used when we want to get out of the structure for some reason. Now why switch structure has been written in the way that when one of the cases right, so all of the statements below it should be executed, because for some time and there will be cases when this kind of quality of switch grade switch structure will be needed, that the whole statement below it must be executed, and it will help us a lot in some problems. But here we don't need this kind of functionality, so we need to only execute the very single statement are the statement is very close or very next to the specific case, the statement of that specific case. So for that we will be breaking the structure after the case, after the statements of that specific case has been executed. So in this switch structure we are having multiple cases, and for multiple cases we are having multiple statements. So it will look at the grade and will look at the grade if the grade is capital A or if it is small a. For both of these cases, what will happen? These two statements will execute. The first statement will execute and will print out excellent, and the second statement will break the whole structure and will stop the program, or I'll say that the program will start running outside this curly bracket, and will go and will start to jump to this line, whatever is written in this line, if there is something below this below those brackets. The same thing happens in the other cases. If case B is right, so it will output very good and break the structure and will not go downward. The structure will not go downward. The same is with C, D and F, and a default is used with none of the cases as true. Lastly, I just want to emphasize one more time this break structure. This break is really important and it will be used in future lectures. So you need to be very good with the break structure. Okay, thank you.